Hey, comic book community, Longbox Love Affair here with a real interesting story, so I think. So I became aware of a collection of comic books that were available for free. And so at that point, your ears perk up. And this collection was water damaged. Now, before everyone goes crazy, the water damage varied. So there were definitely books that were more saturated, and then there were definitely some that were barely touched. So they were in boxes, apparently in someone's basement. There was some rain, and apparently that basement flooded. And so when I went to pick up these boxes, there were two short boxes that, unbeknownst to me, were still wet. So the comic books were still in the short box wet. And I didn't know that until I got home. And so they were sitting in this wet, damp short box. So I quickly pulled them out of the short box and tried to air dry them as much as possible. Now keep in mind, these are free. And these are books that, frankly, 90% of them are, more than 90% are ones that I've never owned. And they are DC Comic Rebirth books, the vast majority. Rebirth books from issue 1, when the Rebirth era started, until current. So there are current issues in there, there are key issues in there that are wet. And so those were the two short boxes. Then there was a reusable plastic grocery bag full of books just stacked. And those were in pretty decent shape. And then there was this. Ugh. This is full of comics that, frankly, are still a little damp. So, to give you a sense, because these books are going in the trash, unfortunately, I hate to say that, but it is what it is. You got Doomsday Clock, and these are the worst of the worst, and he pulled these aside. Some DCists, they're like stuck together. This is like a horror show. It's like wavy pages on the side. This is too bad because it's a really cool cover, but it's bent. This is actually probably not as bad as some of the other ones. I might keep this aside to read it. Tears from the water. This is just, awful. This is still moist days later. I didn't try to dry this out because this was just the worst. It's bending, it's just craziness. Stuck together, and yeah, it's not a good situation. So these are definitely segregated from the rest of them. But you can see they're all modern books that are messed up. I was sad to see this, the first appearance of Mrs. Freeze. And then some of them have already started to mildew right here. Or it's either mildew or it's pulling from the back of the other book that's attached to it. And then some of them, like Lois Lane, they got some discoloration there. Let me see if there was any that really were unfortunate. So it's just not a good situation with these books, at least. So these are the minority of the collection, though. So let's see here. Here's some other ones. So it's like the first appearance of that Skull character in Lois Lane is in here. We got some variant cover to Lois Lane, Detective Comics here. This book, which was super hot back when it came out because of the character who pulled her mask off and she's a skeleton. But this Doomsday Clock, it's already just nothing. You can't save that. Here, that's the worst. So, other than showing you the horror stories, I did have some good ones. So, let me walk you through some that are for better or for worse in decent condition. And I probably should say before I do what I'm going to do with this collection. So I've organized them all. I have near complete runs of a bunch of titles, including Batman, Aquaman, Action Comics, Justice League. So I'll show you those just in the groupings. I'm not going to go one by one because you'll be here all day. Some of these are in, like I said, better condition than others. Some don't even look like they had any water touch them, so I air dried them. So what I'm going to do is I'm thinking about what I want to read. I'm going to probably put these in storage, think about slowly reading them. Some of them, not all of them. I'm not a big DC guy, but maybe this will change me, this windfall of a collection. So this was one of the only bagged and boarded books. Everything else was open. So this one was fine. If these were all bagged and boarded, probably would have been a different story. But this, like at Lois Lane's, this full appearance of that character, it's a little wavy. If you pressed it, it probably would be near perfect. I don't see any discoloration. None of the pages are sticking to anything of what I have. This one was heartbreaking. So first punchline, I have the cover B, so this is cover A. It is wavy, and you can probably see that with the light. I don't think this is a pressable candidate because it does have some other wear, some light scuffing on the side. I'm not sure what the grade would be once it's all said and done. Maybe fine. And then this was worse for wear because it had a bend in it, but this is the second print of that issue. So that's too bad. Those were two issues that were probably one of the more valuable in the collection. Some Dark Knight's metal tie-ins were there, so that was cool to see. Those were in decent condition. Barely touched was this Justice League 26. I think this is the first appearance of the kids of the Justice League, some future versions or something of that sort. This is another cool one, Batman 77, The Death of Alfred. And there's nearly a full run of Batman Rebirth in here. And so I'm excited to revisit that. I did start collecting that and just stopped around the wedding. So I'm looking forward to reading most of the issues, especially the City on Fire storyline. First Gotham Girl and Gotham Boy, I think. Gotham Man. And cool David Finch art. This one barely touched, if at all. And then just some more current Punchline stuff. This was a cool cover, so I threw it in here, and it was, again, like pristine. So Hawkman 5. I love this cover. This Justice League Dark of the Upside Down Man. There were some Dark Side War stories. So Justice League. Got some Justice League 42, 44, 48, and 49. And also another one that was hitting it out there is 50, but the Romita variant. And then 51, the last issue. I think this is the first mention of the 3 Jokers. Justice League Dark #1. I got some Batman Albuquerque variants, so some Detective Comics. I love this one. This is a great book. Batman 21, the button with the lenticular. And 22, the standard version. I never picked this up, so I'm excited to look at it. Detective Comics 1000. This is the Jim Lee standard cover, so lots of different artists in here. I'm sure many of you had it. And then I was surprised to see this because it's semi-recent, but Legion of Superheroes 6, but this one's a little worse for wear. But it is dry, and it's definitely could be a filler issue for some people. So yeah, and then as I spill the comics, you can see some are better than others. We got okay, wavy. And so what I'm doing is saving these issues and gonna read them. So like the City of Bane issues, some of these got really messed up. This one got bent completely. It's dry and all of that, it's just got bent. Not sure how he stored these before. And then there's these, he spent some money on all these collections, the Tales of the Dark Multiverse. So these are all warped because of the cardstock cover. Again, reader copies. I haven't spent too much time on these. And as someone on Instagram said, well, there's people saying I could do damp rid, which yes, I could. But how much did I really want to invest in these books? And most of them were not wet. They were maybe a little damp from the box. They would have been fine if you took them right out of the box and not let them sit and, for a day maybe. I don't know when this happened. It could have been a day, it could have been 2 days. But the books I'm going to show you now are all in very decent condition in their piles by title. And then I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to go title by title because there's hundreds of books here and there's no way for me to read everything, but I'm definitely going to take a stab at this. So let me know what you think are your favorite titles in this group. I'd love to have recommendations. I'd love to know if you see anything that is worth a second look collectability wise, and other than the Punchline stuff, which I already know and it's not pristine, but yeah, love to hear. But there's definitely a big Batman collection, a bit more Superman, Justice League, and Aquaman, and then there's a little bit of everything else. So enjoy the look and thanks for watching. Alrighty, so as you can see, there is a significant Justice League focus right here. A lot of those cool white Rebirth covers. I didn't realize Ryan Ottley did that cover. You got some Hawkman, got a lot of Aquaman in there. Again, these are almost near complete except for ones that might have gotten a little bit more water damaged. Action Comics when it started off. A couple of Batman, Superman, some Legion. These are the acetate covers. Don't know much about these, but You're the Villain, Batman Who Laughs, Lex Luthor, Legion of Doom, Mr. and Mrs. Freeze. I've read the Justice League Suicide Squad. That's pretty cool. Got one old Action Comics, and then cool Rebirth, or New 52, actually. All right, Batman. Nearly all of the Batmans up until current. So there's like over 80 books here. Same thing with the detectives. There was one Marvel book, and this is semi-recent, right before COVID hit. So there you go. Got the full run of Dark Knight 3, which I only read the first couple, so I'm looking forward to looking at the other ones. And then this is like brand new. So these are in pretty decent condition. Deceased, the Aquaman toy variant. So that's it. A lot of reading to do. Thanks everybody for watching. Again, glad it's not my collection with all the damage, but now these are part of my collection. So looking forward to seeing what I should be reading. So let me know what you think, and we'll go from there. And yeah, nothing else to say about these. So going in storage, except for the ones I'm going to focus on for now. Thanks, and talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.